The last 4 years have allowed me to paddle many different types of kayaks, and although they've mostly been used big box store brands from places like Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace, what they've done is allowed me to really develop a sense for what I want in my next kayak. So, although I'm ready to kick it up a notch, I still pay homage to those Walmart boats that got me to where I am today.
Whoa! Yeah!
So what have I been looking for specifically? This go round I'm changing it up quite a bit. So I want a 12-foot sit-on-top kayak, and most of you guys know that I've really been in that 10-foot range in a sit-in kayak. So this is going to be a huge change. But with that, I need to be sure that this boat is going to deliver durability, stability, and then also I want it to be good at paddling, which is not something that you always find in the sit-on-top kayak range. So I've been researching, making Excel spreadsheets, and tearing through reviews online to see what are my options, because as you guys know, there are a ton out there. And even though there's a ton of options, we're kind of in this weird period of increased demand, like lots of increased demand for kayaks, but then a restricted supply just because of all the craziness that's going on. So it's really created an interesting market dynamic and made it hard on all of us to kayak shop. After all, if you pick the wrong kayak, it could be an expensive regret you gotta live with for the next couple of years. So as I was researching, comparing, contrasting, that's when I discovered the Old Town Sportsman lineup. And although this is predominantly designed around fishing platforms, which as you guys know, I am not the best angler out there, fishing kayaks really lend themselves perfectly to what we do out here in Texas specifically, but then also all over the country. Add on top of the fact that I've been using Old Town for many years now, and it seemed like it would be a really, really good option to explore. So at a very high level, fishing kayaks are generally 12 feet long, they're stable, and they have open cockpits, which are great for storing gear. Add in the length and then a good keel system, and you're going to have something that is pretty good at paddling. It's never going to compare to a sit-in kayak, but you don't always need to have the best paddling. You got to give and take on some of the features and just see which one offers the closest to what you need it for. And drilling down deeper into that Sportsman lineup, it looks like the Old Town Sportsman 120 was going to be perfect. So I reached out to Old Town a few months ago, and they're really stoked about the stuff we're doing down here. And upon my request, they agreed to send me a Sportsman 120 to use and abuse out on the rivers. And they're very clear that they want me to share my actual opinions of it, whether that's good or bad. The opinions I share are my own, and they're not influenced by anything. So let's explore why exactly I landed on the Old Town Sportsman 120 specifically. To start things off, it is a 12-foot sit-on-top kayak that's very stable. I noticed that in a lot of the reviews. And in addition to that, they have a W hull system which allows it to paddle well through the water. But that's not all, because they have a keel system that runs down the middle. What that's going to do is help with tracking, which is very important. And another big item was the removable seat, which is something I've really enjoyed with my Ascend H10. Because of the utility of a removable seat that is also very comfortable, I really enjoy using that for breaks for lunch or just sitting around the campfire. It allows me to not have to pack a camp chair. And something that really wasn't a must for me, but is starting to become more standard on these nicer boats, is the EVA foam decking. What that's going to do is help me to get in and out of the boat and not slip as much. Wet plastic is very slippery, so adding in that foam will definitely be nice. The cockpit is spacious, the tank is oversized. In fact, I put my 28-liter Remote Designs backpack in there, and it honestly looked pretty small back there, and that's not a small bag. I bet you could fit a 75 to 100-liter duffel bag and have absolutely no problems. I know a lot of folks will pack hard coolers on their longer trips. I've never done that. I don't plan on doing it, but you could definitely get away with that. Then you skip on up to the front and you have in the bow, dry storage. A dry storage hatch is not something I've ever had, like in any of my boats. So that's something that I'm really looking forward to. With internal storage, you can pack things lower in the boat, which gives you a nice low center of gravity. So between the rear tank well and the front, I think I'm going to really enjoy the way this kayak packs up for longer trips. I was looking for very specific weights and widths because those oftentimes determine how well a kayak is going to paddle in swift water. I wanted something that was kind of right down the fairway to more on the skinny side, and at 33.5 inches, the 120 is actually pretty competitive. It weighs in at 82 pounds and that's fully decked out. Although that is heavy, it's pretty light for the category that it's in. Add in 4 different hard plastic handles, and I actually found that moving this boat around outside of the water was pretty easy. It actually felt lighter than boats of similar weight that did not have good handles. And finally, it has a 500-pound boat capacity, which is not something I ever plan on using all of, but I know a lot of folks will pack up with their dogs or maybe some extra gear, and if you're in a survival situation and you need to haul a buddy out of the river because his boat got wrapped and broken or something, you could probably toss him on there. Even though I've yet to take it out for a paddle, I'm pretty confident this is going to change the way I kayak. And at the end of the day, I really trust the build quality of Old Town. My Vapor 10 has been getting used and abused for years, and it still has years of life left. I'm looking forward to that with this Sportsman 120. Even though I haven't used it yet, it definitely feels like it improved on that Vapor 10 in the build quality. The Old Town Sportsman 120 is a kayak that offers a modern feature set at a very reasonable price. What does it cost? Scroll down and check out the pinned comment below. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. I'm taking it out on a trip next weekend, so make sure you guys are tuned in for a trip report. That'll be coming real soon. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in to yet another episode. I hope to see you on the river. Until then, take care.